Namaste. I would be very interested to know how your full moon has been. Full moon can bring up quite a lot for us. And this full moon that we just experienced this past weekend, Sunday into Monday, depending on where you were in the world, this particular full moon would shed a lot of light on emotions, a lot of things that we might be sensitive about, a lot of things that maybe have been hidden in the dark for too long. If you have felt yourself lethargic, emotional, in a head space, in a heart space, in varying amounts of spaces this week, you're not alone. And one of the things that I want to definitely incorporate in today's practice is giving yourself that light, shining the light on the aspects of self that need to pull back. We're in this time of where we pull back a little bit like a bow, so that way the arrow can launch forward. That's been a metaphor I've been using at the beginning of the year. Many things can pull us out of our mind, out of our heart, and can also catapult us towards those places. And that's also something that happens with the full moon. It not only stirs up what's happening inside of us, because we are made of the elements, but for instance, there have been crazy snowstorms and power outages and technical things happening. There are many different shifts and changes and ebbs and flow. And the long and short of this is that if you've been feeling a little bit stirred up like a snow globe, you're pretty much not alone this entire week. So what we're going to do with today's practice is settle all of the pieces that have maybe shifted around. Make sure you have a bolster handy. You're going to need a blanket in case you want to keep yourself a little bit warm or snug as a bug. And yeah, we're going to start laying down twists to open up the side body. Go ahead, and if you don't already have a blanket or a block handy, go ahead and grab it. I like to start this first one off with just a little bit of an elevated twist. So go ahead and score your right leg against the bolster. Take a smooth breath to inhale. Grow the spine long. Again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, wrap the ribs of the left side around your spine. We want to grow and lengthen, grow and lengthen, grow and lengthen. There is no rush. And then once you settle in here, we're going to take a moment, pause, let the body be heavy. Scanning for any adjustments you might need to make. We'll be here for a little bit. If it feels uncomfortable for you to place one ear, you can always place your forehead to the center of the bolster. Just letting whatever might be settling in the body, might be the shoulders, you might need to adjust your knee. But give it some time before parts of your body start to really communicate with you. Take a smooth breath to inhale here. As you exhale, I want you to notice the rise and fall of your lungs. Notice if you feel as if you can breathe a little bit more fully. Some of you might need to adjust the height of your block or come off of the block. Some of you might need to switch the ear. Wherever you are, there's no goal here. Just a scanning of alignment, making sure that your shoulders feel supported. Ancient yogis believe that since fascia covers our entire body, covering the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, that in any posture, whatever stuck energies or dormant energies, could be emotional, could be a belief pattern, these energies, these thoughts get lodged within our muscle fibers. And it's believed that emotions cover our entire body. So notice what might be coming up for you. If there's a feeling, if there's a thought, there's a narrative. Hopefully you're not thinking anything. Let's go ahead and draw the forehead down to the mat. Take your time. So breathe into the back of the neck. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Resist the mat and come back up. We're going to switch sides. So you're going to turn to the back. Take a moment here, readjust the sits bones, and then turn to the opposite side. Hopefully you'll be already set up. Left hip is going to go flush against your bolster if you need to reprop back up. If you removed it, take a smooth breath to inhale here. Grow the spine long. And then on your exhalation, slowly start to walk yourself forward. Right? So we're elongating and twisting, elongating and wrapping, elongating, wrapping. One breath at a time, one movement at a time. One side's always a little bit more accessible than the other, so just make sure to prop yourself up as you need and let yourself rest once you've arrived. Feel free to keep the eyes closed. And then before you start to move anything, just scan the body and notice. See if you can notice from the inside how your postural alignment might be affecting your breath. Make the adjustments for your physical body that will allow you to breathe fully into every part of your body. So the shoulders, the elbows, the hips, the lower back, the knees. See if you can give your body a little bit of weight, a little bit of heaviness to it. See if you can let your jaw be heavy. See if you can notice what the difference is between one side and the other. Is it in your hips? Is it in the ribs? Is it in the shoulders? The different segments of the body give us the knowledge and the backing that we require in order for us to find energetic alignment. So once again, see if you can adapt your body, not by looking, right? So not with the physical eyes, but by feeling into where you need to move whichever part that will allow for you to breathe easily and fully into the entire sphere of your body. If you haven't already changed your ears, go ahead and switch from one ear to the other. You can also bring your forehead to realign if that is more comfortable for you. Take a smooth breath here to inhale, and a smooth breath to exhale. Listen carefully. We're going to bring the top leg, so that left leg is going to close to the right leg. Press your hands down as you draw your forehead to your bolster or pillows. Pause here for a moment. And we're going to slowly roll up, but we're going to take goddess pose. So I want you to stay on the side. Hopefully you don't have to maneuver too much. We're going to prop up our block or a large book underneath the bolster or pillow. And from here, without moving hopefully too much, you're going to take a moment to set yourself up so that the back of your crown is supported fully by your bolster. And we're actually going to open up the thighs. So here's where having an additional block is really super beneficial. I happen to have quite a few blocks, so I can always do that. And if for any reason that's too high, you can also come down off of the block. So I'm going to come off of it because it's a little too high for me. And I'll use my blocks underneath my knees. Now take your time, get your hair out of the way if it happens to be a long ponytail. And slowly let your body, again, totally okay to stay elevated. That's one variation. I do apologize if the mic was just loud. Let the underneath of your knees now be supported. And we'll take the arms up overhead. So whether the mid-back or the crown rather is elevated, just reach your arms up. I want to focus on the pelvis being heavy here. And I'd like for you to reach for your wrists or your forearms. Give yourself enough room that if you need to open your hands, you can peek up at me if you'd like. As much as this, that's totally fine. Depending on your range and your anatomy, you can reach for the elbows. But the rule of thumb is, can I breathe fully in this posture? Some of you that practice with me regularly, I want you to feel as you're in this supported supta badakonasana. I want you to feel as if you're keep your arms overhead. If you happen to be peeking up at the video, I want you to feel that same feeling of peeling the skin of the belly, the skin from the hips, all the way through your rib cage, through your throat. It's almost as if you're doing a reverse cobra or baby cobra, right? You're just using your elbows to help facilitate lifting and breathing from the rib cage all the way up to the throat. Go ahead and switch the crossing of the elbows now, holding on either to the elbows, the wrists. I need to make some adjustments on this side because of my scoliosis. So adjust as necessary for your body. A lot of times in certain practices, you might have been told, taught, or have heard, you just have to work harder on that side. I have a good side and a bad side. And the tantric approach is honoring the differences between the sides, right? So different schooling of thought here. And in Tantra, there is no good or bad. There is no better or worse. In Tantra, both sides complement each other and are unique and different for different facilities and different energetic purposes. If you look a little deeper at this aspect, You can even see that we don't have the exact same organs on one side of the body as the opposite. The right brain hemisphere controls different functions to the left. So we are not hardwired to look and to have each side perfectly symmetrical. Take a moment here as you continue to breathe. That's always a focus here in mild back bends and also back bends. See if you can breathe from the rib cage. It's not about sticking the ribs out. It's about feeling the skin lift up. We'll draw the knees in. Continue to lift from the rib cage here. Draw your feet now as wide as your mat. Let's open up the arms. If you're still elevated, I'd like for you to come off of your elevation. So take the block out, and we're going to come now to soft cactus with the elbows. So the elbows are going to open up, the knees are going to work in towards one another. I want you to move to a point where your feet are as wide as possible. You can take it off the mat. And then draw one leg in and then the other. One leg, you might have just heard my hip open. One leg in and then the other. So going super wide today. Let your knees fall over. There goes my hip again. Might be hearing that. Always important to move slowly here. Let your knees fall over to one side. And I want you to pause here. So peek up at me if you need. Notice how wide my body is. We'll pause here. We're really going to get into the shoulder girdle and the hip. Now, us being elevated on this bolster is allowing for me to really anchor my pelvis. Takes a little bit of time here. And as there's a deepening happening into my psoas, I can feel it wrap from the front, moving from here all the way in, wrapping around to my lower back. So this is a deep hip opener, a deep back bend opener as well. Always want to make sure we're at a place where we're able to maintain and breathe fully rather than causing harm, right? So make those adjustments as you need. Prop under the knee. You can always elevate the elbows if it's too much. I'll show you what that looks like. You can always bring a block under each arm. Just bring it a little, it's a little softer on the shoulder girdle, right? We'll pause here and we'll take 3 full deep breaths into wherever you're feeling the most sensation. So let's take a deep breath to inhale. As you exhale, direct the energy, direct light into where you're feeling that sensation. 2 more times like this. Inhale. Exhale it out. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale it out. Feet down to the earth. Take your time. You might even use your hands here. So give yourself a slow recovery before you go to the opposite side. You can keep your feet wide. And then if you need to prop your arms up or prop your arms off, make those adjustments as you need. One of the aspects of being able to really get in touch with your physical body and really understand the emotions that might be coming through, the mental shifts that also might be coming through, is understanding the difference between pain. Like if you're actively feeling pain or pushing your exertion within your practice, that's not a healthy boundary, right? And also not leaning into something there that maybe requires patience and a fuller breath. That's aversion, that's avoiding. So our practice is really designed for us to become honest with ourselves. time. Breathe into anywhere that's feeling like it needs that light. We'll take that 3 times. Let's do that again. And backing off wherever you need to. One more time. If you need to use your hands, slowly use your hands to draw your legs back in. Take your time. Walk your hands to the tops of your knees. Press your feet into the earth. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of traction here so the arm bones stay strong and straight. You're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Come to a seated posture. Pause here for a moment. Let's cross at the ankle bones. Face your bolster. Pause. And we're going to draw the bolster as high up as possible. We're just going to take a little bit of a rounded back here, but there's activation happening. So peek up at me for a moment. You're going to see me scoop my navel in, draw my chin down, still maintaining space for an apple, but I'm using the top of my bolster or pillow, whatever you have, to give myself a little bit of resistance and to move the shoulder blades away from one another. Take a smooth breath in and a smooth breath out. Keep drawing the shoulders up by the ears. Slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. And you're going to uncross the legs. So if the left leg was crossed in front, switch the crossing of the legs. And same thing here, scoop the navel in. So it's not just rounding, right? There's activation happening. You can see my scapula is actively pulling away. Draw the shoulders up to the ears. Scoop your navel into your spine. Notice I'm not in a chin lock, even though my chin is down, right? So Jalandhara Bandha, or chin locking, would be completely closing off and you hear my voice has changed. So you want to make sure you're not closing anything off. We're not locking any airways. But we're facilitating and using the breath here to create spaciousness right in that mid-back, right in the space between the shoulder blades. Slowly take a smooth breath in. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Pause here. All right, so now we're going to get into the quads today. Why are we going into these specific areas of the body? Well, especially a full moon in Cancer. Cancer is one of the most emotional signs, also one of the highly intuitive signs. And it brings a lot of light into trusting ourselves, right? So for some of you, this might resonate very deeply with you. Fear is stored in the fronts of our thighs. So if there's been anything that maybe has come to light, and again, this was a very powerful full moon, shedding a lot of light on all of the emotions. And if there's something that maybe came up for you that you notice you are fearful about, or have resistance, or have imposter syndrome, this is a really great way for us to get into supta virasana and give ourselves a little bit of time to move this. On Friday, if you're taking that class, we'll have a little bit more of a faster flow, but I always like to make sure we settle the energy from whatever it is that we've experienced before we charge it forward. Before we get into this, I like to place a blanket underneath my knees. I have some slight knee issues, and that little bit of extra padding just always helps. We'll take the right heel back to the outside of your hip bone, and then slowly take your time. Notice that the block is on the second highest level here. You can adjust it as you need. You can keep your palms down to the earth. If you need something to elevate, you can always place a block under each hand. Now, this is one option. Second option, before you settle in, second option would be to not have a block. A third option, so I'm going to remove my block. Don't worry, I'll cue you if you're doing one leg. So second option would be to lay back without it. Show that. A third option, we'll be here for quite some time because this requires a lot of effort and mobility to come up. The third option would be, if it's available for your knees and for your hips, to bend both knees. Now, this is a classical variation. I like to get into this very slowly. And then once you've arrived, it's that same feeling of not sticking the ribs out, but lifting up. Even if your arms are low down on the ground, it's still this feeling of lifting from the pubis bone all the way through the breastbone, through the spine, and out through the top of the crown. I'm going to take my arms up overhead if that feels comfortable for you. And again, you can always try it and then remove it or bring it to a soft cactus or a low elevated place if you'd like. Again, you can pause this recording and also make those adjustments. If you're doing this class live, you don't have that option. But you can always do it in the recording. I'm happy to send you that for those of you that are on. Now, what tends to happen as you're focusing on this breath, right? When you're really directing the focus to lifting and peeling from the skin, from the belly, there's an elongation that's happening, right? The transverse abdominis is stretching, it is lengthening. It is also allowing the back muscles, the latissimus dorsi, to open up. So this is where that bowing of the chest, of the rib cage, that feeling of that continuous lift is super important, because when we flip this the opposite way, and I can feel this all the way down to my hips, right? This is why it's important to stay within these postures and to find those places where you can fully breathe, because then it creates more spaciousness, more spaciousness, more spaciousness, which is what we want in the practice. The minute you're compressing and tense or tight is the minute that you are restricting your prana. And it's cutting off your life force energy. It's restricting your flow. So this is the beauty of being able to cultivate a vinyasa, breath and movement, that helps to calm your nervous system at the same time, right? There's still this heat that's being stoked, but at the same time, the fire's being tempered. Now, if you happen to have one leg bent and the other extended, if you're in half supta virasana, you're slowly going to come out of the posture. If it's available to you to switch your legs, you can always bend your left heel, bend your left knee, excuse me, place your left heel to the outside of your hip, and then extend your right leg. Take your time as you move down. If you're able to stay on the block or need something that's a little bit more elevated, you can always take that option and lift up. And of course, if you do not require the blocks or would prefer to focus more on lengthening a different area of the body, in this case, it would be the stomach and the chest, you can always remove the block. So this is where so many people think that the practice itself is static. This is not static at all. The more I breathe into the psoas and the 𝗀𝐿 microdratus lumborum, which wraps around a lot of these muscles, especially with the obliques. They wrap from front to back. So when we have any lower back pain or anything that's happening that's limiting our hip mobility on the outside, it usually has to do with the internal rotation of our inner thighs and the SI joints, because all of these muscles are interconnected around the pelvis. Helps to secure the Swadhisthana chakra, helps to secure our water center. Area of the pelvis is shaped like a bowl, so if the bowl is tipping one way or the other, our element of water will spill out. One more little tidbit, since so many of you that are practicing this particular flow have been with me for a while, I want you to see if you can also focus in the mind's eye now of an internal rotation. When you do it in the mind, the body automatically adjusts. Whereas what we're taught in the West, or what is promoted in the West, is looking and seeing with the physical eyes first, right? In the Eastern practice, and those of you that practice with me, we train the mind's eye, see it and feel it first. Feel that internal rotation of your body. So energetically work the inner thighs down and in. Same thing with the arm bones. Keep them long by the ears. Keep lifting your shoulder blades up to your ears. You're going to feel that expansion in the low back. It's going to lift you out of the SI joints. You're going to feel that expansion in the front belly, deep into the hips. It's a 𝗀𝐿. We're going to take a smooth breath to inhale here. Ujjayi breath. Exhale through the nostrils. 2 more times like this. Inhale. Deep breath. Exhale. 1 more like this. Inhale. Exhale it out. Take your time. Draw the elbows down. Here's the challenging part. Getting out of this now, right? Take your time. I like to press my elbows down and slowly use my hands to walk up. Pause here for a moment, because we're going to switch. We're going to see how much length this has opened up. We're going to take this into puppy pose. So I'll give you a few options. Again, the options are there not as better or worse than, or something to work towards. It's more, here are different options for our body types, our anatomy, our injuries, our delicate, fragile, gorgeous, vulnerable bodies. So we'll take puppy pose. Stack your hips over your knees. Draw your forehead down. Notice if your navel is dropping down. So now I hope it makes a little bit more sense why we started the way that we did. And draw the forearms. Keep walking your forearms forward. Forehead can be down to the ground. You can absolutely choose to stay there. Here's one option. If you feel like you need to bring it up a little bit more, you can always use 2 blocks and take this into Stonehenge. Right? Lift it up. If you don't have a bolster, and you're welcome to stay here with the forehead being supported, right? This is a little bit softer. I'll give you a few more options. So I would say those are 2 options depending on where your flexibility is in your shoulders and your heart. If you happen to have a couch or a chair, I'll show you here with this. Right, that's about this height. This is a really great way to also practice letting I'll move my hair to the other side so you can see. Drawing the navel into the spine, but letting your hands be supported fully here. So I'd recommend this against the couch. Now, I want you to keep your fingers, if you can, if you're doing this against the couch or against a chair, see if you can keep your biceps long by your ears and press down into your fingertips. You're going to close the rib cage in. And again, just making any adjustments. So if you feel like your neck is too heavy or you're putting pressure, relax your forehead, support it. We often make things more challenging for ourselves than need be. The first question is, am I feeling pain? I've also had people ask me in my live classes, am I supposed to be feeling pain? If you feel pain versus pleasure, and by pleasure I mean the fullness of the breath, room. If you feel pleasure, then you're in your practice. If you feel pain, discomfort versus pain, two very important things to know, right? We never want to feel pain. You can come out of this now, depending on wherever you are. Take a moment, press back to your child's pose. Discomfort is part of the practice. Moving through what may be uncomfortable for us. Pain is not. We're not here to beat ourselves into our practice. We're here to love ourselves. Slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Now we're going to get a little deeper into the quadriceps. So you can simply step this leg forward. Make sure your blocks are handy, especially if you know you need them. I'm going to step the right foot forward into a supported lunge here. And again, it's really important to make sure that you're not sinking down, that your alignment is always focused. So let's draw the hands back a little bit, getting into this left side quadricep. Press down on the right foot, stack your knee in line with your ankle. Pause here for a moment and see if you can lengthen your tailbone. There's a difference between tucking. Tucking is rounding, right? And then lengthening means just elongating the tailbone. And then notice if the ribs are sticking forward. So it's very easy for us because we've just done so much work with the shoulders and the back bend. But now I want you to draw everything in. Close it all in. Take your left arm up, long by the ear. Big side bend over to the right side. You might be noticing my ujjayi breath here. We want that. We want to inhale and exhale through the nostrils. Side bends. Connect the front plane of the body and the back plane. Right? This is why they're so important. Let's take one more breath. All right, so check this out. We're going to take the left hand, place it on top of your right thigh. I want you to stay twisted. Press down on your left hand. Use your block underneath your right hand to grow the spine long and then wrap the ribs around the axis of the spine. Let's do that again. Grow, wrap. So I'm using the leverage of this left hand on top of my right thigh. I'm using the leverage of my right hand underneath the block to lengthen the spine and get a little deeper. So there's almost this rounding and twisting. Let's go ahead and bring that left hand down to the ground now. You can always use a block. Peek up at me if you'd like. And let's take that right arm up. So follow the rotation. You can reach back for that back leg if it's available. You can switch the height of the block or no block at all. Again, these are not goals. We're just working with what we have. Bring your left forearm down to the mat if you feel like you need a little bit more intensity. But here's the thing. I want you to keep the left side of the rib cage and hips spiraling up to the ceiling. This, my friends, this is your bound warrior, right? It's the wrapping, it's the lengthening of the underneath side of the ribs, which actually also targets the QL that you might be feeling right now if you are in leg bind and the quad. One more smooth breath here. Whew, that one's really deep. Release that left leg. Take a moment. Move slowly here. Again, really cultivating the ligaments in the body. 5 cat-cows, table pose. Inhale, broaden across the chest and collarbone. Face looks up. Exhale, navel into spine. Resist. Follow the rhythm of your breath. Follow the rhythm of the ujjayi, inhaling and exhaling through the nostrils. Sustain and stretch the breath as much as you can. Add years to your life by lengthening your breath. The ability to breathe is one of the greatest pleasures in the world. You know this because we've all gotten sick, and when we cannot breathe, or if we have stuffy sinus issues, right? It's the most unpleasant thing, or one of the most unpleasant things we can experience is not being able to breathe fully. Let's, excuse me, come to neutral spine. Step the left leg forward now. Help it up and take your time. One more time here. Whatever it is you need to do, however you need to organize, as you see, I need to do a little hip adjustments and rotations because I have scoliosis. So some of you know that. But the more tune we get with our bodies, the greater care we can take to organize the segments and come into our postures, right? Let's take the right arm up, draw the navel in. So notice if it's sticking out again, scoop everything in. Tailbone moves down. If you need to bring this front leg a little bit further back, do it. Right arm long by the ear, side bend. We often think that we need to feel the workout, feel the flow. True yogis know that the practice is a work in. We don't have agency over what's being controlled on the outside. We don't have agency over the weather or tech issues or climate control or any of that, right? But we have agency over how we show up, how we're handling things. And sometimes we might be frustrated. We might feel our emotions. Those emotions that we feel, if we don't process it right away, will get lodged in the body. So see if you can breathe into any place that's feeling like it is not releasing. Stay with me. Might peek up at the screen here. Keep that rotation. We're going to take that right arm, that top arm. Follow the path. Right hand to the top of that left thigh. Grow the spine. Use your hands to wrap the ribs. And then notice if you're pulling back a little bit, right? So be aware of that. Really press down on this top hand. Never on the knee, always on the thigh. So one of the things I love to share is use your body to heal your body. I'll say that one more time. Use the body to heal the body. Can I use my body? Can I use my connection, my hand, my foot, my body to assist myself, right? What we're focusing now, and sometimes it happens. This is exactly why this is so important to have a consistent practice to stay within the parameters of where your physical body is. Because there are those peaks that, for instance, if you're, you can always rewind this if you're doing the recording, where there was a moment where there was an exponential opening, right? So this is where the breath really helps to create more space, because sometimes we feel that ligament really opening up a lot. Pause for a moment. Slowly bring your right hand to your block. Keep the rotation. You might bring that right heel back towards your left hand. Make the adjustments that you need. Right? So really focusing on the underneath of that right side rib cage. And again, there's no goal here. Because once we start to think that, oh, I've arrived, there's always someplace a little bit more expansive. Not deeper, not overextending, not out of alignment, deeper. That word is going to be very different for each person. So the goal is never to look like me or anybody else, but where can I go deeper within myself? Deeper doesn't mean stretching deeper or more flexibility. It means where can I breathe more fully? Release that left arm, right leg. Pause for a moment. This time we're going to step forward. Step that back foot forward. Help it up if you need to. Use your blocks if you need to. Standing forward folds, please. Let your body be heavy. Hold on to the elbows. Might shake the head, yes. Might shake it, no. One more time, might shake it, yes, up and down. Might shake it, no. Give yourself a little bit of traction here in the neck. So there is a place where the head can be heavy. There's always a little micro bend in the knees here. I want you to pause. I want you to feel this. Feel this standing forward fold. Switch the crossing of the elbows. As you're folded forward, focus on the big toe, second toe, third toe. That's your earth, your fire, and your water line. See if you can plug your hip bones in. Little bend in the knees, right? So the ligaments and the tendons are being affected here to release the muscles in the low back. That little micro bend on the knees releases the lower back. The pressing down of the big toe, second toe, third toe, activating earth, water, fire lines. That allows for the body to be grounded. Draw the chin to the chest. Slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Let your head arrive last. Stack your shoulders, stack your hips, palms face forward. Sana CTE. See if you can feel the difference in your body. And then float the arms around and up. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, standing forward fold, please. Belly to the thighs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Let's exhale back to plank pose and pause. We're going to take this with or without the knees. Lower all the way down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Three-part cobra here. Inhale, lift the heart. Back of the neck is long. Exhale, release. Lift your hands, lift your heart. Inhale. Exhale, release. Legs, arms, heart. Flying locust. Exhale, release. Hands off the mat. Lift the heart. Bow the chest forward. Notice the spaciousness that you might be feeling. Release. Slowly bring your hands underneath your shoulders. With or without your knees, you're going to press back into table or through modified plank. Find your down dog. One time each side. Right leg lifts all the way up. Right foot steps forward. Help it up. Spin your back heel. Warrior two into peaceful warrior. Inhale. We'll get more of this on Friday. Reverse cartwheel. Step back, down dog. Inhale, left leg high. Stretch the breath. Exhale, step forward, help it up. Spin the back heel. Warrior two into peaceful warrior. Reverse cartwheel. Down dog. Do that one more time, each side. If you want to skip it, you can. Move according to the rhythm of your breath and what you need. You don't have to match me. I'm just here as a guide. Draw your knees down to the earth. Camel pose. Just a little heart release. A few options here. Come up to your knees. Hold on to your heels. Let your palms fit in like a glove. Draw the shoulder blades in. Lift the heart. As if there's a thread lifting the heart. Work the shoulder blades in. Don't worry about how far you get. Feel the spaciousness you're creating across the chest and shoulders. Slowly come out of it. Let your hips settle. Come to a comfortable seat. Right hand, index finger and thumb to touch at the center of your heart. Left hand, index finger and thumb to touch on top of your left knee. Close the eyes and feel that right hand in the center of your heart. You're connecting to the light that's already inside of you. As you inhale, feel it grow, feel it expand, feel it fill your entire body. Exhale, let it come right back. Take a few more breaths like this. Just feeling that light expand into every aspect of your physical body, your hands, your fingers, your toes on the inhalation. Set yourself aglow with every inhalation. Let it come right back in the center of your heart on the exhalation. It's filling yourself up with light, radiance, magnetism. Sa, the sound of pure intelligence. Hum, the distribution of that intelligence, feeling the joints spacious. Float your right hand to the top of your right knee. If you would like to continue in this seated meditation, you can stay here. If you would like a shavasana, you'll press the tongue to the roof of the mouth, slide it behind the upper teeth, draw your chin towards your chest, and make your way down for any comfortable variation of shavasana that you'd like. If you'd like to use a blanket to cover yourself, you can absolutely do that. I'll let you decide. If you're staying in the seated meditation, I'm just staying for a few more moments. And let your whole body be filled now with light. And let your whole body feel light, as light as a feather. And at the same time, tethered by a golden thread, grounded and free at the same time. Asato maha sargamayam tamaso maha jyotirgamayam mrityurmamritam gamayam. Om Shanti 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 Om. Reach the arms up overhead if you're in Shavasana. And on your next exhalation, draw your knees to the chest. Roll over to the right side. Take your time. Make your way to any comfortable seat. If you're in a seated meditation, press the tongue to the roof of your mouth, slide it behind the upper teeth. And lightly rub your fingers with your thumb. And press the palms to the heart. Bow your head. Just giving yourself a thank you for grounding all of the chitta, all of the workings that can get stirred. Say thank you to yourself for balancing and looking towards your heart that always has the wisdom, always knows that form and formless can always be found in the sound Om. So let's close our practice today with one Om. You can join me or simply receive. Deep breath to inhale. Om. Hari Om, Om Tat Sat. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.